everybody, it is Lesh here, and I'm here with another video for you on my YouTube channel and now shared to my blog. And today we're actually not talking about anything fashion or beauty related. We're actually talking something more lifestyle related. And for me, it's a lifestyle that's happening now of a choice I made a while ago. And for us who are in our 20s, 30s, possibly even 40s and 50s, this is something that's still affecting us. And for those who are my younger age, maybe at the end of high school or maybe someone looking to go back to school, this is a decision you're making now. We are talking about student loans and student finances and how they affect us now in the present and what we can do and learn about those things right now that could help us move on to the future, not stop those things we want to do like buying a house or going on a trip, traveling the world and doing all those things we want to do. So I'm here to share with you a new tool and resource that I found recently, and I'm also going to go through a couple questions, things I wish I knew when I went to college. So first I'm going to share with you a new tool that I recently was introduced to. It's like a resource and a tool that has helped me learn a lot more and started making me think, I wish I knew this when I went to school myself. So I was recently introduced to Thrivent Student Resource. So Thrivent is a financial resource and tool, and they have created a new student resource portal that is helping you to answer questions. You can sign up to get notifications. You can research things a lot more easy. It's basically a one-stop shop for everything related to student finances. So I'm going to use some of these things I found out through this resource as we go through and talk about things that I wish I knew as a student, as well as some questions that were sent to me over my Instagram stories. Thank you for those who participated. And things that could probably spark some ideas for you if you are a person looking to go back to college, maybe getting that second degree, that master's degree, going on to PhD, just trying to further your career and your education, and how you can use that now, as well as for those who are like my own students, because I am a teacher, it's like my own students, think something that you can use to find out all the information you need. Even if you're a parent of a student, this is also a good resource for you to use moving forward. So let's talk about some of those major questions and things that you probably are hoping you know right now, and things I wish I knew, or questions I had when I first went to college. Now let's get to our first question. What type of loans are out there and how are they going to affect me later? So there are two types of loans that I know about personally, and those are subsidized and unsubsidized loans. And now I never really knew a lot about what they meant. When I originally had went to college, I was sent all this information, and you're saying, oh, you're going to get this type of loan. And of course, I just clicked, yes, I need the money, I need to go to college, send me the money, I'll pay it back later, whatever. So of course, at that time, I knew nothing about it. And now I'm realizing later that while I was in college, studying those 4 years and then the additional 2 years for my master's, I was getting hit with interest. Interest on top of the principal that I wasn't going to be paying back because I was in school. So Thrivent is actually, that student resource actually gives you all that information up front as to what those different types of loans are, and then sets you on a goal and plan of how to make sure that you are decreasing that interest if you're getting hit with it, and how to avoid it, and how to make sure that you have a plan so that it gets paid off in a certain amount of years, rather than getting hit with a larger loan that you originally didn't plan to have when you first accepted the loan. So that's a great thing to have. And then these loans, how they affect you later. So fortunately, I actually am a person with a lower loan. So right now I have actually under 30K in debt. And I've been out of school for the past 2 years, so I'm just now paying it, starting to pay it off 2 years in. So I'm actually in a good spot versus some of my, friends who went to college, high school friends that I know who are in a little bit more debt than I am. But even with that, with the grants and the the scholarships I was able to receive, I am still in debt, and it's affecting me now. So if you haven't heard, my husband and I bought this brand new house that we're in now. And it actually took us a while to get there because of the fact that we had these loans. We had to put them as a principal thing versus putting us further more in debt. We also don't get to travel all the places that we want to go. Originally, last year, if you saw me on Instagram, I was talking about going to Italy. but we realized that we can't afford to buy a house and go to Italy and pay our student loans together. So these things come in and factor together based on information that my husband and I both didn't know when we had originally went to college, and things that we should have known. So Thrivent actually helps you know that information up front. And even if you're someone who's planning for your child to go to college and your child's of a young age, they actually have a resource that helps you to plan out your finances to decrease the amount of loan you have to take out early on, which is a huge thing. Plan early, start planning, even if you are someone who is in their 20s or 30s right now and you're thinking about going back to school in a few years. They're going to give you a resource so that you can make a plan and put how much money to put away and how much money you'll need to start that and how that's all going to work out for you. Now, also commenting on loans, one of the other questions I got is, how do I pick the right lender and how do I know that I can pay them back? So Thrivent is actually an advocate of the new school mindset, and they explain it fully on their website. So the new school mindset centers around making sure that you graduate college and can pay back your loan right away, or if it's not paid back within the next few years. So they're looking for you to graduate, have your loan paid back quickly, versus instead of having 20 years down the line or 40 years down the line that you're still paying it back and it's holding you back from the things that you're doing. Thrivent also has a resource where they have lenders who are committed to this new school mindset. That's the best thing to have, is that lenders that agree with making sure your loan is paid back in time versus lenders who are just out there to get your money and know that once they give you the money, you're going to pay them back more than you actually expected. So that's a resource that's on Thrivent where they take you through all these lenders. They help you choose the right ones for you, the ones that speak to this new school mindset, and help you figure out things along the way. The second question I got was, where can I find scholarships? How much can I get? And how do I apply for them? Like, where do I find all of these things? Now, fortunately for me, when I went to college, I actually accepted a scholarship that was through my university. They sent it directly to me. But that's not always the case. And honestly, I still ended up with loans because that scholarship, though extremely helpful, only covered the cost of tuition. There was still room and board and all the other fees that play a factor. So Thrivent actually does the work for you. Thrivent, once you sign up for a subscription, actually has a whole database that collects all of these scholarship opportunities based off of various criteria. So you'll get a whole list of all of these pages of scholarships, and then you can put in certain keywords, certain areas, states. It basically lets you filter out. So it shows you the scholarships that you are qualified for, that you can actually apply for, their due date. So all that information is there for you, and then you can actually click on them and show which one you've applied for. So you know you've already applied for it, which is a great resource to have, because when you think to yourself, where am I going to find all of these things? Honestly, when I was applying for it and I was looking for additional scholarships, I got frustrated because I had to research at my school. I had to Google. I had to go to this website, that website. I had to go to my guidance counselor. I had to go to this seminar, that seminar. It got very frustrating to the point where I was just like, well, I'm not going to apply for these because I don't know where to find them. I'm not finding them at all, or when I did find them, it was past the due date. And I was looking at things and reading scholarships that I was not qualified. So it's a great thing for Thrivent to have this resource, this page, where it filters all of that work out for you. So you are doing the necessary work just to apply versus just all that other unnecessary work that gets in there that gets you frustrated, that makes you give up. So definitely check out Thrivent and sign up for that. For that factor alone, it's going to save you a lot of money. And then you won't have to worry about those loans that we just talked about because you have the money in front of you. There's actually a fact that there are millions of dollars out there that go unclaimed every year of scholarship money for people going to 2-year colleges, 4-year colleges, getting master's degrees, PhDs, or even just going into a trade school. So use that student resource on Thrivent to find scholarship. The one question I also got was, what plan do you make, or how do you make one? Even if you're a parent or someone just looking to make a plan how to factor all of this out, honestly, I will say I did not have a plan going into college, nor really did my parents. My parents did not save up money for me going to college. It was kind of when I got there to the point I was out on my own. Now this was something they did for all three of us. Since I am one of three, it was kind of like if you're choosing to go to college, you go. Now Thrivent actually has a number of articles and resources, and they actually have a way for you to fill out your kind of own personal information and your plan, and they generate a step-by-step plan guideline for you that has different resources that take you to articles, that take you to different resources, that kind of just put everything in one place that you can go and say, I've done this, check, I've done this, check. So they give you a plan with a checklist that helps you get through that. So no having to sit there and make your own plan by yourself and have no clue what you're doing. They're there to guide you, to help you create that plan for you, to give you the best steps so that you have the most possible outcome that you're looking for, that you end up in a place where you're not thinking about not going to college. You're not thinking about getting that second degree. You're not thinking about how you can't go and travel, how you're thinking about you can't go out and buy that house. Follow those plans. That's something I wish I knew, that kind of plan to do certain things, and it's there. Something that I wish I knew in my first year of being in college was where to sell and or buy my books. Now, I was the person that ran directly into the bookstore on the first week of school and was just like, I'm going to buy all these no matter the price. I have the money from the loans, so I went and bought them. And of course, I ended up paying a lot more money for my books than I really needed to. So Thrivent has a resource where they show you how to buy and sell your books so that it helps you figure all of that out without being too stressed about it. So that's something a little small, something that's actually, you know, really kind of niche, I guess if you want to say, that you really don't think about until it gets there, especially because the cost of books can add up. Now the last thing that I want to introduce and talk to you about when it comes to the Thrivent resource that comes to your student finances is that Thrivent Student Resource actually connects to this thing called, it's like a Gradsource. It's like a crowdfunding thing. It's called Gradsource Crowdfund. But basically you can put out there of a goal that you're trying to reach for going to college. And you can pitch certain things, whether it's for another person, whether it's for you. And people can actually help you get to your goal of saving money for you to go to college. And of course you can put your own money in there. It can be family and friends. So when you have your graduation parties or you're planning to go back or you have these different parties, these get-togethers, and people are bringing you gifts, instead of saying, well, bring me, you know, this little gift or this book, can you put a little bit of money in my grad fund so I can go back and get my degree? So thank you guys for watching this video. Just so you know that yes, this video was paid for in collaboration with Thrivent Student Resource, and I hope you've enjoyed all the information. I've added a couple of more information in my blog post, so if you are watching this video in the blog post, you've probably already read it, whether it's above or below. And if you are on my YouTube channel, make sure that you go to the link in the description to get to the overall blog post and see more information about it. And of course, the link to the Thrivent Student Resource is right here in the description as well as in the blog post so that you can get to it to yourself. So make sure you check it out. I have definitely been introducing it to my students, the ones that mention it to me and kind of talk to me and have those conversations like, where can I find this? And I go, make sure you go and sign up for this. It's going to help you. And of course, people I just talked to randomly. And my husband and I have actually been looking at it as well, as we are both two individuals looking to possibly get our PhDs sometime within the next 10 years. So this is a resource for any type of student. Don't think it's just for those high school students. It's for any type of student, someone looking to go back, so that you can actually control the funding of you going back and getting a degree and furthering your education and expanding your life. And then no need to worry again about taking that trip. My husband and I are about to travel the world. We've bought a house, and even with us thinking about going back to school and still paying for our loans. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you next time.